pressed down in it, and just put light pressure over that stencil because we want it to stick down in that ink. So perfect. I didn't remove a whole bunch of ink because we don't really want to do that. Then I pull it up. Then I take that piece of paper, I lay it down on my gel press. I then use my brayer because it does two things. I get all that ink off and cleans my brayer for the next time. But also, sometimes I really like this look. So if you just want kind of like working on a craft sheet, right? You can blend that and then transfer it to paper. Then we pull this off, and you can see it's cool, but I don't have all of those little vines like I did. So I didn't press it in. You can see it here and here. So this one I might use as a strip versus a whole background. Or right here, like I like how that section came out. It's a cool background though. This one, more of the vines, I pressed it in harder. So you can see lots of pieces to use. We'll try that again, and I'll show you. So say I put my mossy meadow down, and then some enchanted emerald. And then I think, I should have used some charming chartreuse. Now what do? What I do is I take the light color and I use my brayer and I just pick that up. And then I blend it in. Now we'll take our stencil, put it down in the ink. Let me press down a little harder this time. You were playing, Kim? What were you playing with? Or can you not tell? So I press it a little harder, which is good. Pull it up. You can also take this. We can put this on. Sometimes, this is a pretty detailed stencil, so it depends. But you can transfer that ink too. Now we'll take our piece of paper, put it on, and brayer. And you can see all that charming chartreuse. So I put it directly on the stencil, but was able to get good amount onto the gel press. Ooh, I can't wait to see. So you can see I did a better job this time of pressing that stencil into the background. You can also see where I did not blend it well, which is okay. They're inky backgrounds. They're not supposed to be, like a perfect sponged background. You're looking for a different look. Hey, Sabrina. So let's look at what we have here. So this one, I did not press it in very much. Thanks, Bridget. And you can see where the stencil was, where it didn't get. You can see just the inky background. This one, you can see where I pressed it in, got a lot of that vine, where I didn't blend it. And then this one, right, was a much better pressing it in. I did a good blending. The back, I think, is pretty right. We pay money for pattern paper that looks like this. Now you can use your inks and you can make your own. All right. And what color, what stencil, what do you guys want to see? Let me clean this one up here. I spray a little bit of stamp cleaner on my stencils to get the bigger part, the biggest part of the ink off, if I could talk. It will stain the plastic, which is fine for me. No, it's fine. I thought I bent back one of my little leaves there. I love the leaves. I think it just makes such a beautiful background, especially with the ink, to just either, sponge it. So here, I'm going to show you. So you can see that this was very inky. I sprayed some stamp cleaner on it, and you can see the ink pooling up on that stencil. So then I can just dab it off. With your really detailed stencils, don't rub too hard. Okay, I'll do some pink and purple or something here. Let me get this. Set this aside. And see, it almost all of it came off. There's some on here, but clean. Then that's just using a little bit of stamp cleaner. So if you want them to be really clean, just use some stamp cleaner. But it doesn't matter if they're stained. All right, let's put our greens away. And let's get some purple petunia. How about some lagoon? And pink pizzazz, right? Why not? Why not make a little bright? Okay. You can use re-inkers too if you want more ink on there. Let's try the burlap. I think Beautiful Burlap and Leaves and Vines is on sale right now. So if you don't have them, go check them out. So here's Purple Petunia. Exactly. Mermaid and unicorn. So again, I didn't put my pink on, and that's okay. We'll take and we'll put some on our brayer, and then we'll blend that out. We'll put our burlap stencil down. Put some pressure on this because you want it to pick up some of that ink. And then pull it up, right? And we can see the ink on here. Then we'll lay this down and then we'll just brayer this off. So it looks like I got it really purpley and pink, but it looks really cool. So you can see the pink, the purple, some of the lagoon. We'll do another one. We'll do some pink pizzazz, some lagoon, and a little bit of purple. Okay, we'll get this. We'll put our stencil down again. Am I going too fast? See, you can knock out a ton of backgrounds and then use them. I throw them in a little plastic bin, and then I can use them whenever I need them. Especially if I know that okay, that should work better. You can see. And if you don't have a stencil, you can use your hands. I mean, I'm inky, to kind of blend those lines. Or you can press down with your hands. I just do it. Thank you. I do it to get all that ink off there. Look at this one. How cool is that? You get that pink. You get that a little bit of that lagoon. And then you get that purple in the middle. You can see how much more pink on this one than this one. But each one is different. So let's say, what do we want to do? Say instead of lagoon, where is my, we're going to use Mermaid Melody. We'll get a brighter color. So again, we'll put some pink down. We'll put some purple. And don't worry if you get ink on your pad so you can see some blue. I just take and just kind of, and you can see it's purple. It doesn't hurt them. So then we'll blend this up a little bit so we just don't have harsh lines. That's all we're doing. We're taking our stencil and we're putting some pressure so that it squishes down in that ink, because what we're doing is removing some of that ink. Put this down. There you go, a night city. Yeah, I mean, you can. And sometimes I like the backs just as much or more. And then we pull it off. And look at that one. How cool is that? You can see I didn't press the stencil in right there, but that's the perfect place to put a stamped, do a circle or an oval or a band, a border right across the top. Yeah, I sometimes, like I said, I think the backs are just as pretty to use. To me, they remind me of like some of the old basic gray. They'd give you that distressed kind of sometimes monochrome. Let's do, oops. Let me see if I can pull this up. You can also try to get the ink that's on your, this is messy, but I'm going to just see if any of this will come up. Yeah, I let it sit too long. But still, isn't that cool? If you just want a little bit of noise. Exactly. Who needs pattern paper? You can make your own. All right, let's use some, let me clean this off real quick. And we'll grab another stencil and we'll play with that. Let's do some pinks. Mermaid Melody. Let's grab Pretty in Pink and Raspberry Rose. And we'll grab the sweater. because I think that it can look like hearts too. Okay. Let's dry this up. And we're going to start with Pretty in Pink because it's our lightest color. After this one, we'll do a sweater weather. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. What did I call it? I fail. I did. I'm like, what would Kim want to see? Is Pink Pizzazz your favorite, Kim? Oh, yeah, or Tulip. Sabrina did the coolest card where she used this as tulips. So if you haven't seen it, check out her blog. It is really cool. Now, how cool is that for a background if we were to just stop right there? I just think it's cool. Total fave. So you can see where I didn't mix, where the ink was just sitting on top. But how cool is that? You want to like a distressy. Oh, I got to go see today's video. We'll do monochromatic here. So we'll do the Pink Pizzazz at the bottom. Then we'll do the Raspberry Rose. And then we'll do some Pretty in Pink at the top. And we'll do that. Put our stencil down again. So see, you don't even have to see the blog post. Go to the earlier video and you can see Sabrina make tulips out of this, which is so totally cool. You can see I did not. This is what happens if you don't blend it well. See that harsh line? Which is okay, but sometimes I want that blended look. Okay, so let's do this. Let's do Pink Pizzazz. And we'll do some Raspberry Rose. We'll blend that. We're just trying to make sure that stencil pulls up the ink. Now, I like this look. You can see where I pulled the ink completely off in these little sections. Oh, you want? I can try my sprays. I will go grab those. And you can see where it, to me, looks like, right? Like that's a sweater. Put that in your back, on your background, and then that just looks like someone's wearing a sweater. Let's do some sprays. Let me Let me get this top ink off of this. Okay, we'll set this and we'll grab our sprays. So if you haven't seen, let's get rid of this. You stay there, baby. Hang on, I gotta pull a couple of these out you can't see. They would be sneak peeks. Okay, we're good. So if you haven't seen, I have a YouTube or a video in the group on how to use your Crafty Colors reinkers and make your own sprays. So what I already have made up here, I have Charming Chartreuse, Mermaid Melody, Purple Pansy, this one's Purple Petunia, Purple Pansy, and Ruby Red, because red's my favorite. So I put beads in them. I don't know if you can see that bead right there. Yeah, you can, I think. So that way, it mixes up the pigment when you go to spray them. So this paper is just the hammer mill. This is what I use for most things. It's just hammer mill, color copy, digital cover. You can also use... I can do this right. Let me grab some watercolor paper too, because you get a totally different look. And I have some right here. I just gotta grab it. If I can get, there we go. You can also use, you know, whatever, like 100 pound, 120 pound, 110 white cardstock. You just want it to be thick enough to hold up to the moisture in the sprays. So we have a piece of that hammer mill and a piece, maybe I'll turn it this way, and a piece of a watercolor, and it doesn't matter. I'm going to just spray a little bit of water, and then we're going to shake these up. And then we're going to spray. Now, on the watercolor paper, you're going to be able to blend that. And layer that ink over the top. They still look cool on the other paper. You're just not going to be able to layer as much as you're going to be able to. Okay, I'm trying to get these splatters. So see how that, a fine mist versus those blops, droplets, big droplets of color. And you can go back in, you can add more. I got these are 0.66 ounce bottles. Let me show you. It's a little bit bigger diameter than the Zig glue pen on Amazon. I think there was 10 of them for like $8 or something. So not too expensive. The big drops, not an even pressure. So you just kind of want to let it drop out. And also if you push it halfway down, and then then just let it up a little bit, if that makes sense. Then you can get those big droplets. Sometimes I really want that really inky look. If you spray it and you don't like it, just cover it up. Now you're going to see this is just that hammer mill paper. So the ink isn't going to move. Where it splatters, it's going to stay. On here, it's going to puddle and it's going to move. And you can see we can go right over the top. And because these are hybrids, one of the great things about Kimmie's inks is that they don't, get lighter when added to water. So they hold their color. I put about 11 drops of the red and the dark colors, more of the Charming Chartreuse because it's a lighter color and I wanted that, really bright green. But you can just keep adding drops until you don't like it. You can sop up this, right? You can save that ink if you want. You can see where I have some purple on there. But they don't mix and become brown, right? They stay true to their hybrid color. So even that purple with that red, right, with those blue, it is going to stay bright. Here, let's dry some of this real quick. So you can see we still have that same bright color as we did. If we now say, oh, you put way too much red on here, we can go in. I need to make some more of this one. Right, and just layer some more. So when all else, we'll just add some there. We'll just pour it on. Make it. You can also spray them through some stencils. So we'll set this aside to dry. Let's take Sweater Weather. I love the hybrid inks because you just don't get this vivid look by making them into sprays as you do with the ones that just kind of blend in with water. Okay. So we'll spray this over the top. We'll get some splurt, big drops on there too. We'll take a piece of paper and we'll pull off what's sitting on the stencil. So there you go. That's what's sitting on top of the stencil. And then that, let's pick this up. So then you have both looks, right? You have the ink that's sitting on top and then the ink that sprayed through. I don't know. I try to use it all because even if you don't want this as a background, remember, you can chop it up into pieces, right? I could mat this on red and use this as a little border on a card. I put all of my little inky backgrounds, like I said, in a little plastic bin, and then I pull them out and I use pieces from them. And again, I made this really wet, so some of it went underneath. You don't have to do that. So we'll set these aside. We'll grab another piece of paper. We'll grab our stencil again. And we'll use, cut sections. I have a card where, well, here's a section of, this is the sprinkles. And I inked it and then I put the sugar Bo Bunny paste. And I only used a section of it. So I still have a section of it, that I can use on something else. So you can spray this much lighter and take another piece, put it over the top. So here we have that ink that we've picked up. And then we have this nice soft background. So we have both. And you can see my little inky red print that I put right there. So you can use both of these. And I don't know if you guys have seen this. It's a metal Make It Art that has magnets. So a lot of times, right, then I don't have to worry about tape. So I can take the burlap stencil, put it down, put some magnets down. And then, right, you can do the same thing. And again, you don't have to use one color. You can use it came out, I would say maybe a month or so ago. It's pretty new. I like it because you don't have to, it's metal, so it wipes up. I do have some, well, you'll see when I pull this off. So there's that. Again, this is the ink that was sitting on top. And then this is what we sprayed. You can see that, like, I have some staining on it. That doesn't bother me. But if it does, right, you could use alcohol or different things. But what have we been, I don't know how long we've been creating here, but let's look to see what we created. It also comes with this magnetic ruler on the back. It's a Ranger product, so I would think you could get it. And if I remember correctly, it's like $25 or something. It's not super expensive. That's US. But for such a nice tool. So let's look and see what we created in the, how long? 40 minutes. So we have this background. We have this one. We have the sweater weather. And it's coordinating. The red. The pinks. And the gel press. The mermaid colors. And the burlap. And again, these all have backs to them. I'm only showing the front and the leaves and the leaves. It is called, let's see. Make Art. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 backgrounds in 40 minutes. And you could use them on more than, you know, you don't have to use the whole thing. You can mat it. You can cut it down. Remember, all of these have, I mean, how pretty would that be as a background paper? So you have the backs too. You don't have to use, you know what I mean? I like this one. You can see the, where the ink like was little droplets. So lots of things you can do. Always remember to use those refills. They're not just for refilling your ink pads. You can, you know, make your own sprays. And if you have like mica powder, you can put them in here and make them have that pearlescent too. Yeah, that might work behind your glass. Thank you, Tracy. And right, they're supposed to be inky and messy. If you like perfect clean lines, you can, like this one, I didn't spray as much, so it didn't seep underneath. This, where I had the big blops, did. This one, though, didn't. This one did. I like that messy look, that inky mess. Remember, now is the time to pick up your inks and your refills. They are all on sale. And they hold the color, right? Water-based inks, they're not going to hold the color like this. Lots of fun things. And don't forget your stencils. Burlap. We used burlap, leaves and vines, and sweater weather. Any questions for me? All right, well, I hope you had fun. I hope you try some inky techniques, create some backgrounds, and then put it on a card. I have a card here where I, two of them actually that I'll show you. So this one is the sprays on watercolor paper and then made a card. And this one is the sprays on a glossy paper. So you can see the individual spritz. It stayed, right? It didn't blend. And that was really the look I was going for. So again, you can achieve different looks just depending upon the paper that you're using. Have a great rest of your Saturday. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you.